And although we typically think of snails as relatively fast, no, we don't. We don't think of snails as relatively fast. Although we usually think of snails as relatively slow. Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. It is spooky season here, if you can't tell by my decor. Do you see the pumpkin pillow? The orange pumpkin dog behind me, and of course my favorite sweater that I thrifted like, I don't know, it's gotta be like 7 years ago now, and I wear it through the entire month of October. Anyway, it's spooky season here and I am here for it. So I thought I would give you a video today of surprisingly spooky animals. Now, everyone knows the traditional spooky animals of the season: black cats, bats, wolves, spiders, honestly, all just cool animals. But the animals in today's video are animals that A, you probably don't know about, and B, on the outside don't appear to be spooky. So basically, this is like animals with a dark side. As a reminder, if you like hearing me rattle on about random animal facts, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and you're subscribed to my channel for whenever videos appear. Now let's get into it. Oh, what do you think? Should we get into it? Oh, can you see him? Oh. First up, we have one of my all-time favorite animals, the loggerhead shrike. Isn't he so cute? Or she. They're very cute. They're the only member of the shrike family endemic to North America, and you can find them in kind of open prairies, grasslands, around shrubs, anywhere where it's slightly open but there's still like vegetation around. And then size-wise, they're slightly smaller and more slender than an American rabbit. So they're pretty little dudes. So how could something so small and cute be spooky? Well, although they look like a tiny little songbird, they actually hunt like a raptor. That's right, loggerhead shrikes can kill anything as massive as itself, carrying larger prey in its talons and smaller prey in its beak. However, since they don't have the actual talons that a raptor does, in order to more easily consume their meals, they skewer them on barbed wire and thorns. Did I forget to mention the other name for these birds are butcher birds? Yeah, they're pretty deadly. I mean, if you're like a lizard or a bug or sometimes even another bird. Another thing about them, and I'm just gonna read it because I'm not gonna know how to say it otherwise. They have the upper cutting edge of their bill has tomial teeth, a pointy projection used to paralyze prey by stabbing them in the spinal cord. Cute, right? So do you see now why they were on this list? But that's it, loggerhead shrike. Next up, we have the hairy frog, a small, about 4-inch amphibian found in Central Africa. Now, right off the bat, the name isn't great, but it's not spooky. I mean, if you already don't like frogs, they're out anyway. But generally speaking, they look pretty harmless. Definitely nothing nefarious going on. The hairy part comes from the fact that the male will grow these hair-like papillae kind of stuff on their sides and along their thighs. I believe it's increased surface area for better respiration during mating season. I'll let you know if that's true right here. Yay! However, the hairy part is not what makes these frogs truly frightening. It's the fact that they have bone claws. That's right, it's a wolverine frog. Now, technically these claws aren't true claws because true claws are made out of keratin, and like I said, these are made out of bone. You see, when these frogs are threatened, they release their bones basically through their fingertips to have tiny little claws. Now, the technical bit about this, again, just gonna read it. They have small bony nodules nestled in the tissue just beyond the frog's fingertips that anchors the sharp claws with strands of collagen. When attacked, the frog breaks this connection and forces its sharp finger bones through their skin. Yeah, so I don't know what you were thinking, but these guys shoot them right out through their skin. Now, it's still unknown how these frogs retract their knife bone claws. Scientists are still hypothesizing about kind of how this frog works in general, but luckily most amphibians are known for being able to pretty regularly regenerate tissue, so it works for them. But there's just a little something to haunt your nightmares. Bone claws. Moving on! Staying slimy, I wanted to bring you something that you would think is completely harmless. A snail. Right? Wrong! These textile cone snails, roughly about 3.5 inches in length, are one of the most venomous creatures on the planet. Yay! They capture their prey by harpooning them with a radula. It's kind of like a hollow tube-shaped appendage, and inject them with venom with the biological equivalent of their own needle. Although we typically think of snails as slow-moving creatures, cone snails are actually one of the fastest known hunters, with their attacks lasting mere milliseconds. It's wild. I'll see if I can incorporate a video because it's just like, they're gone. Don't worry, their usual prey is mollusks or fish, but attacks on humans have occurred when they've been stepped on in the ocean or picked up on the beach. Yeah, they've killed like 30 people. Accidentally. Happy swimming! Now, out of the oceans and into the forests of New Guinea. The hooded pitohui. Am I saying that right? Pitohui. The hooded pitohui, a beautiful bird with a rich chestnut and black plumage, and oh yeah, it's one of the only poisonous birds in the world. As a reminder, the difference between venomous and poisonous: venom is injected like with our cone snail, poison is ingested. So you have to handle one of these birds and the poison to get into your system that way. Scientists believe that the toxicity of this bird comes from a beetle that they eat, because the beetle is a distant cousin to another beetle found in South America that gives poison dart frogs their toxicity. Don't fret though, if you are in New Guinea, first off, lucky you. If you are in New Guinea, you'll probably smell these birds before you see them. They give off a very unique odor, apparently. I've never smelt it, to warn predators that they are around. Well, you won't die like you would if you came in contact with a cone snail. I still don't recommend rubbing your face on a hooded pitohui. The poison on their feathers will cause a long-lasting numbing effect, sneezing, watery, burning eyes, just not a fun time. But they're still really pretty. Now for something objectively less pretty, but I still think they're cute. Newts! Yay. Oh, sorry, baby. Can't be bothered. Specifically, the Iberian ribbed newt. This cute, about 1 foot in length amphibian is endemic to the central and southern Iberian Peninsula and Morocco, and it uses its own ribs as a weapon. That's right, move over, hairy frog. We've got another Wolverine amphibian in town. Now, I know you're like, oh, why are you doing another amphibian that shoots its bones out of its skin? Because it's the ribs this time, so it's weirder. Well, these newts are usually just swimming around in ponds and feeding on worms and insects. When frightened, they bend their spine about 50 degrees, and that movement shoots their ribs through their skin. There's no better way to say it. They increase their body, they flex their body forward, they increase the angle, and then just ribs out the sides. They pierce their own skin. Like I said before, amphibians are really good at regenerating tissues, which is why that they're able to do this and not just have open wounds for like their entire life. They do give predators a heads up that they can shoot their ribs through their side. If you look at the Iberian ribbed newt or sharp ribbed newt, it's got like 4 different names. You'll see they have like orange warts down the side that are basically a warning signal saying, I'm dangerous. So if you ever want to warn someone that you're dangerous, wear orange dots, I don't know. Now for a weird creature that you wouldn't necessarily consider spooky. You probably know it, you probably love it. It's our egg-laying mammal with a duck bill, the platypus. That's right, platypus endemic to Australia, and honestly, the original Frankenstein's monster of the animal kingdom. It's like you put together a bunch of different parts to make a platypus. But did you know that they're also venomous? That's right, adding one more component to this already kind of weird creature. The platypus is one of the few venomous mammals that exist. Now, to be fair, only the male platypus is venomous, and they have a sharp spur on the back of their hind legs. And now I will refer to my notes because I don't remember all this. They have half-inch spurs on their hind legs connected to a crural gland or modified sweat gland that generates a powerful venom. But the thought is that during mating season, males are seen to fight one another to win a female. They'll wrap their legs around their opponent, and when they do that, they'll inject them with this venom, immobilizing their opponent so that they can swim off with the lady. And while the venom a male platypus produces does not hold a candle to a cone snail, it's still pretty painful to humans. I really liked this description. The venom does create immediate, sustained, and devastating pain in humans that's resistant to morphine and other painkillers. So if you thought Australia was scary before, now I've been to Australia. It was very nice, but the wildlife is frightening. And now for our final spooky animal. The name of the animal gives us away, so I just want us to look at an image first. Cute, right? It's a harmless little sharp-beaked ground finch found in the Galapagos. The males are a sooty black and the females are brown with gray streaks, and oh yes, they drink blood. Yes, this is the aptly named vampire ground finch. They have adapted to using those sharp bills to drink the blood of large shorebirds, mainly Nazca boobies. The vampire ground finch is one of Darwin's finches, and like the other finches on the Galapagos Islands, they have adapted to the harsh environment and limited amount of resources in a myriad of ways. This one just happens to be a little spooky. Now, vampire finches just didn't drink blood just 'cause. At least we don't think so. It's thought that the finches were originally eating parasites off the backs of these boobies when food was scarce. And when they took off the parasites, they often would create an open wound or would cut the bird. And then by accident, got a little taste for blood. Turned out that they really liked it. And apparently, I didn't read too much into this because there wasn't a lot. The boobies don't seem to mind. I mean, if they're just little cuts and then they drink the blood, they're not that big. But it's wild, right? Blood drinking birds. Well, there you have it, some surprisingly spooky animal facts that you can share with your trick-or-treaters when they come knocking at your door. Is that not what people do? No, you don't scare children with wildlife facts? Anywho, I hope you found this video at least mildly entertaining and a great reminder that animals are not always what they seem. They're usually a lot cooler. If you have a surprisingly spooky animal, an animal that on the outside just appears mundane, but actually a little bit weird and crazy and wild and shoots bones out of their skin, drop it in a comment below. But for right now, that's all I got. Until next time. This is their ribs. Could you imagine? Also, if you ever broken a rib, can you imagine just shooting them out your side? Oh, I hate it.